Hi everyone, this is day 7 of the 100 Days of Python challenge. My project today is the Hangman word guessing game. So this is the final result of my project. First of all, we're going to choose a category that we want to guess the word from. So let's pick country. Then the computer will randomly generate a word and show you the length of the word. So let's guess a letter here. So if you correctly guess a letter, the computer will put the letter in the correct place and it will show you how many lives you still have. So let's guess another letter. So E is also in the letter. That's great. I is in the letter. Okay, so if we guess a wrong letter, the computer tells us that that's not in the word and we lost a life. So now we have 5 out of 6 lives left, and this is the Hangman showing visually. So let's guess another one. So T is in a word. Okay, U is not in a word. L is not in a word. M is not in a word. R is in a word. And I think I know what the word is now. Alright, so we guessed the word correctly. It shows me that I won. It's Argentina. So the game will end now after we correctly guess all the letters, or if you lose all 6 lives, so whichever earlier. So let's take a look at my code. I imported the random module, the Hangman words module, which shows 3 categories of a word list that's the computer choose from, as well as a Hangman art module, which includes the ASCII art in a listing order of different stages, as well as the logo. So we set the total life number to 6, and I printed out the Hangman art, the logo, at the beginning of the game, and I asked the user, the player, to choose a category at the beginning. The computer will then use the if statement to choose randomly a word from the category that the player just picked. So the next section is to print out the underscores to show the length of the word. So to do that, I created a blank string called placeholder, and I use a for loop so that for each letter in the chosen word, we add 1 underscore to that placeholder. So in order to ask the user to keep guessing in the game, I used a while loop here. So firstly, I defined the condition for the while loop, so which is game over. And then I created a blank list called correct letters to store all the correct guesses that the player made. So this become very helpful later on in the while loop. And now this is the while loop. So this is a very long, big action. So this is the core of the game. While the game is not over, I want the computer to do the following actions. So firstly, ask the player to guess a letter. Then we are going to use this display variable of a blank string to show the player whether the guesses are correct. So we will then use a for loop to check each letter in the chosen word from the first letter to the last letter against the guessed letter. So using the for loop, we indicate a few different situations that we might run into. So if the letter matches with the guess, we want to display that letter. But if the letter is already in correct letters list, which means that the player already guessed that letter correctly in the past, then we also want to display that letter. Other than that, if the player guessed a wrong letter, then we will display underscore. So now, more specifically, if the user have guessed a correct letter for the second time, we want to tell them that you've already guessed that letter. If it's the first time, then we will add that new correct guess to our list of correct letters. So now the correct letter list is very useful because we're gonna store all the correct answers so that it will keep showing up on the next round. And this is what I mean. So say we are guessing the word Argentina. We've already guessed Aretia correctly. When I'm guessing in the next round, I want to make sure that it keeps showing those letters and not erasing those letters that I already correctly guessed. So this is what how storing those correct answers in the list become very useful. So the next section takes care of the number of lives, so that if the user makes a wrong guess, their life will go down by 1. Then we want to show them the Hangman visually by extracting a specific stage of the Hangman art based on how many lives they still have. And at the end of the while loop, I set the condition of when to leave the loop by defining what is considered winning and what is considered losing. So this is my Hangman game.